Giulio Caravatta, a CFL and BC Lions icon. He's ready for the Wally Bowl Sunday at McMahon. Julio, what's going on, brother?
How are you, dude? How are you? You good?
Oh, I'm good. I'm
yeah,
always good.
You look great.
You know that. I feel great. So do you do. What's going on in your world today?
Oh, not much. I'm just hanging out at the house. I'm going to head to practice here pretty quickly. So get the final tune-up practice before the Lions leave tomorrow morning for Calgary. So, just looking to see some of the final touches on the roster. But, it's been exciting. It's been an exciting first 6 weeks for the Lions, and it's been a lot of fun being a part of the broadcasts. They've been some good games.
Giulio Caravatta won a Grey Cup with the Lions in 1994 as a player. Has been in the broadcast booth probably longer now, right, Giulio? Probably longer than you were a player, but you're still a player.
26 years, my friend.
You got a couple more to reach Carm, then you can be proud of yourself. He did 28.
Right.
Okay, Giulio. I'm having a really hell of a tough time picking the winners in these games this week of the CFL. That's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's been, I think most of us, going into the season would have predicted that there was going to be a lot of parity. There's a lot of good teams, and you see how close the games are each and every week and how they're decided in the last 3 minutes. You're talking about a handful of plays each and every week that are deciding games. You look at the Lions case, they've just been fortunate to be on the right side of those 5 or 6 plays, and some other teams haven't made those plays and are climbing uphill. And you look at Winnipeg, you look at Calgary; they're all good teams. Saskatchewan's a very good team. I got a chance to see them up close last week, and they get after you on defense, and they're going to struggle a little bit with a young quarterback, but they're going to be a different team with Trevor Harris at quarterback. So. This thing's going to go down to the wire. I'm convinced of it. Winnipeg and Calgary, they're going to battle back. The only thing I have to say really is Edmonton, they've dug themselves such a hole. And now, too, with the change, I just wonder whether or not it's almost too big at this point of the season to get yourself out of that situation.
We're all watching what VA is doing. Vernon Adams Jr., for those that don't know. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Video game numbers he's putting up. Why has it just clicked finally? And by the way, I thought he was great in Montreal, but I guess the L's didn't, or Danny Machocha. Why has it clicked now on the West Coast?
Well, I think a few things. I think first and foremost, when you play that, everything that goes into being a quarterback, it's everyone always says it's the most difficult position to play in any sport. And because there are so many things that you need to be aware of on the field during a game. But I think with Vernon, where he is in his career, everything seemed to have slowed down for him in the last couple of years. He had a great year last year, and I think he's continued that. And I think even more so this year, you're seeing a guy who I think the game has just slowed down for him. And one of the things that really jumps out to me, Roddy, is this. When you watch him drop back and throw, if people are around him, his ability to step up into the pocket and still be focused downfield, that's when you know you've reached a certain point. There's no panic in his game. One, he's extremely prepared. I think he's really found a groove on how he best gets ready for a game. Like I'm around him a lot. I'm lucky enough to travel with the team. I see him on the plane right away. As soon as we sit down, he is into his playbook, writing out the game plan. You can see him visualize what he's supposed to do. You watch him during warm-up when he goes out an hour before warm-up starts and he's walking up and down the field, going over his all the little things that you need to be ready for. He feels confident in that he is ready for. There's not much defensively that you're going to do to him that he hasn't seen, right? When you're an experienced quarterback in this league, you're going to see pretty much everything you're going to see, and your ability to adapt to that. And that's one of the things Vernon's been able to do. He's been able to adapt pretty much to everything that they've thrown at him. And, he's also getting a lot of help too with the guys downfield. What do you say about Justin McInnis and Alexander Hollins and the rest of that offense? They've really clicked, all of them. So it's been a lot of fun to watch.
It's taken Justin McGinnis 5 years to be an overnight success. That's the one thing. And it's an interesting business we're in, Giulio. It's an interesting business because I don't know about you, but you got to have the hot takes, and Jim Barker said here last week that Shea Pedersen is what he is. He'll never be more than a backup, which is whatever. Jim knows football, specifically knows offensive football. But here's you saying it's taken all these years for VA for the game to slow down for him. Damon would tell you the same thing. And he was just on the show this week. Yet we all expect the second they walk on the field, they're going to be the next Dan Marino. It doesn't work that way.
No, right? I know. But, well, you know what? I remember Steve Young saying this when he was with the 49ers, that it was almost 5 years as an NFL quarterback that finally the kind of, I don't want to say the light went on, but he felt comfortable, that he felt relaxed, that he felt like he was in control. 5 years. And the problem is, and you just said it, and I've seen, I've seen a lot of young quarterbacks coming through this league. If you get your opportunity, some get 3 games, some get a game, some get lucky enough to have, I think about a Caleb Evans who got like 9 or 10 starts in Ottawa. You get that kind of a run, you better prove you can play. And in the big scheme of things, that's still a small window, right? And you said it earlier with your previous guest about it's a results-based business. You got to win. And in the CFL, there is so much pressure on every team every year. You're not seeing any. When was the last time you heard anybody in the CFL say, hey, by the way, to our fan base, we're going to struggle the next few years because we're rebuilding. We got a young quarterback we believe in. We're going to have some growing pains, but this is what we see as the future. No way. They want to win now. And that in itself is not the kind of environment that's good for a young quarterback, because it puts a lot of pressure on it. There's a lot of nuance to this game. A lot of them are Americans coming up here for the first time, getting used to all the different rule changes and motion and all those kinds of things. It's hard. It's not easy. And so for young quarterbacks, I really do feel for them, because you got to produce right away. And if you don't, it just seems that the teams are just going to move on, and they're going to find out what your faults are. And they're just going to say, we're moving on to in a new direction. And it's hard. It's hard to do. And I think Vernon's a perfect example of a guy giving, and Anthony Calvillo is another one. When you finally get that opportunity you have a coach who believes in you, can grow, and you look what happened to him, right? Like, there's a lot of examples of that.
Yeah, but let's not forget he started in Vegas, then Hamilton, and was garbage in both stops. Didn't get a home until Montreal. So the owners want to win.
But he got that opportunity, though. He finally got that opportunity. He got a coach who believed in him, and they said, because that's the other problem, too, we have, Rod. That, you got to remember, for all these teams, it's about personnel. And you have to believe in your personnel people. And you have to trust that they know what they're doing in seeing what's in a prospect, because these guys are the ones that are spending 2, 3, 4 years in some cases chasing guys that they believe can have an impact in this league. So you need the combination of those people and your coaching staff to be on the same page and believe in the process. Believe that, hey, this guy might struggle a little bit early, but we believe, in a year or two, he's going to be the guy. And I think BC's have been a great example of that. They've done that with a lot of young guys that have paid off for them.
That's why Wally and Shiv worked so well in Calgary. And he was the first guy Wally hired in BC. Shiv. But I was having lunch at the Capitol Grill in Houston, Texas, with George Cortez, and he said, Rod,
wow,
it takes 2 years. I'd like to have a backup for 2 years before he plays. I said, George, we ain't got 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. That's the problem. That's the problem there. You said it.
Yeah. We got about 90 seconds. The Wally Bowl. That's what I'm calling Sunday's game, BC at Calgary. How do you think it's going to go down?
Well, I think Calgary's in a little bit more desperate spot, right? They know they've got to win. I expect that they're going to come out, they're going to come out fired up at home. and they understand the importance of this game. I expect that this is, again, going to be a very tough physical football game, and I would suspect that Dave Dickinson, as always, is going to have his team ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really happy for Wally. I mean, I've got so much respect for him and what he's done for the game. But me personally, like having been around him as long as I was, he taught me so much about the game, not only what I saw on the field, but what was happening off the field and all the things that go into being a great head coach and general manager. And thrilled that he's being honored there in Calgary.
Probably the coolest man this league's ever seen.
He's right up there.
Second to you. Okay, man. Have a great weekend. Keep in touch.
Thanks, buddy. It's the Italians, baby.
I get it. Spaghetti-O. Have a good one.
Thanks,
the macaroni pony. The macaroni pony. Giulio Caravatta. No, the Italian stallion.